Jack, get towards the end, so go ahead and I'll relieve you once I get done with my portion.
All right, we're gonna try this. Dry run.
No, I'm just kidding. Alright. Good evening. Good evening. Our company name is Vince. I'm the project manager for this fiasco.
It's not a bad word.
No. But I am the project manager. We have a my assistant is Jason. My network systems administrator is Zach. My secretary / financial is Rebecca. Darnell will be giving you a architectural. I said secretary / financial.
Why didn't you say financial
Or
first?
should you just say admin? You're admin. You're admin.
Yeah.
Financial, my financial person who handles all the money and makes sure we can do what we have to do. Oh. Do I need to do a banner impression?
Okay, next slide.
All right.
Next.
Darnell is on electronics. Well, I'm sorry, on electrical and architecture. And Andreas is my IT tech support guru. Next slide. And this basically goes over everything that I just mentioned.
Yep.
Time, budget, so on and so forth. Objective, well, we were brought, the school system of Orlando came to us and said, hey, they would like to have three classrooms, three
Yeah, private
computer
schools.
labs, and they want them done at Westbrook High School,
Westbrook Private High School.
private high school, I'm sorry.
I don't know where Catholic high school.
Hardware installation, functionality, email, are just a few of the things they wanted implemented into this program. Network infrastructure, they wanted it to be a LAN, and they also wanted to be tied into the rest of the actual school systems network. So that way which will aid in emails, people's personal logins and things of that nature. And they also wanted Wi-Fi, so if they had some, so therefore some of the students could come in with their laptops, tablets, cell phones, and they would also have access to the network. Next, we're also going to implement, like I said, we're going to implement an infrastructure consisting of wired and wireless. Each classroom is going to consist of 20 workstations. We're also going to have a instructor station in each, for each, all three, for one per classroom. And we're also going to have 2 printers. I know I got too many others in there. But we're going to have 1 printer per classroom minus the large classroom, which will have a black and white printer and a color print. We're also going to do, and we're also going to go through our install and setup of the routers and switches, and we're going to give you everything that you need to get this off the ground. Next slide. And I'm going to turn it over to my financial, so she can give you a scope of how the work is going to be done and who gets paid what.
Our estimated cost for this project that we're projecting is estimated $353. And this budget is based on hours and weeks that we've estimated throughout the project. Time that may be saved, money can be saved in areas where time may not be as many hours. As the project's planning goes into effect, you see a lot of the completion dates already set there for you with deliverable dates to hopefully meet at the times where I come in to make sure those times and dates are met. So we keep under budget. When budget is reaching maximum or exceeds maximum budget, most of the time I will step in and try to adjust that budget to make sure the budget doesn't exceed the estimated cost. So as we go through the milestones, you'll see here, this goes all the way into July. We start in February. Time will be limited because we want to make sure our school is back in session and working properly when they go back in August. So as we go through the project, we want to make sure we're completed before they come back to school. So as you see, the rooms are furnished with the computers. project charter and schedule, which we're presenting today. And then obviously the wiring installation will come in next. Then you have your rooms with your computers, desks, chairs, and the server rooms all installed. Next, we'll have our techs come in to install all the hardware and software and malware that's needed for each lab. And then we have, of course, a good lot of spot for testing, make sure everything's appropriately tested in case there's any crashes. or what you call a hiccup. And then, of course, as everything is coming to an end, training will go into effect. Hopefully, within our completion dates that we've had set here, we try to keep our budget minimal. And that's how the budget's gonna roll.
Good job.
And now it breaks down to hardware. Assistant budget manager will step up and go over those.
Thank you. All right, trying to keep the budget low, something that we aim for as far as our hardware and installation equipment went. We start off with a great server. Very fault tolerant, very well protected, lots of nice hardware in it to keep it going, so it is able to be upgraded for the future use. We then installed some nice thin clients, kept the cost on the thin clients by bringing in at only $270, which is under budget for most thin clients would be fine. We spent a little bit extra on the routers and switches, so that way there's a fault tolerance on those, and we also ordered extra switches just in case to cover any issues or hiccups that might happen. Another way we helped keep costs and equipment prices down, we went ahead and ordered most of our furniture and accessories direct from China, cutting out middleman. So we're ordering directly from factories, which means we get lots and lots of savings by ordering in bulk. And then move on to floor layout and planning.
Good evening. My name is dryrun, and I am in charge of the electrical floor plans and also floor layouts for the 3 labs. This one is our basic electrical design that will be given to our electrician. He will go through and set the power outlets out for us. Now, this is something that is set up for approval and also for as many computers and workstations and printers and other peripherals that may be used in each lab. The next one is our actual layout of the cables. These images here are what the labs would look like as a final draft, but the yellow lines are our cable trays, just so that the cables do not snag on any of the wall or the ceiling tiles. And this blue lines here represent the Cat 5e cables that we're going to be using to run to each of the workstations. Now also here is a final projected outlook of what the rooms will look like. All of these are the workstations, and the blue indicates the users or end users, and the yellow indicates our teachers or instructors. Now this red character here indicates our IT admin. He is the only person that has access to this room. Reason being is because we don't want children or teachers getting in there and mixing around and playing around and stuff. So we keep that area very secure. And this indicates a keypad lock, and that keypad lock code is only given to the IT admin. And going it over to our network administrators.
Hey, I'm Zach from Network Admin, introduced earlier. This is obviously not a physical layout, this is more of a logical layout of what's going on the back end. We have a firewall here and a router. After this firewall is where the school starts, and that's where we stop. And everything else we have here, we have the Exchange and Terminal server along with the database for Exchange and obviously for the thin clients. It is also a storage server. It holds all the files and stuff like that for network drives. We have up here the wireless, which is on its own subnet separated from everything else. It's got a /24, so it holds 254 hosts, which is plenty. I don't think we'll have more than 254 people. We have the router going to a patch panel with 3 switches, which there's a switch in each room to manage all of the thin clients. And this is all full gigabit, so there's plenty of bandwidth. There's absolutely no bottlenecks anywhere in there. We have these thin clients here, and each room has its own subnet, so they're separated. It allocates for 30 hosts per subnet. And we also are accounting for printers and things like that. It comes out to 25 IPs in use and 5 free leases. They would be running DHCP, and the printers would be static. And
Oh, did you want, I didn't know if you wanted me to add any more for right now.
I don't know, is this me or?
Yeah, no.
No, I mean, you can say about the safety of the network.
Well, all the networks are separated individually, so one cannot access the other. So if there is a security breach, let's say on a physical device, which we do have physical security, which you'll go over, on our devices, if there is one, it is contained to that room. The server room itself, as you saw in the previous picture, is behind a firewall and managed switches and in a locked room. So there's very little chance of anything like that. We also have antivirus protection involved installed on the server. And that's the safety.
All right, on the client side, I'll make sure that all the hardware is installed properly and is secured properly. That will include the thin client is actually going to be mounted to the back of the screen, the monitor, and everything is going to be locked down to the table. Also, we will give the school to be able to either lock the USB ports or leave them unlocked for the students to come in and plug in their own stuff in there. Skip to the next one. We're also going to have antivirus software. The one that the school already has. They probably have the whole Norton on their systems. We also have to make sure that the students are not downloading stuff that they're not supposed to download, and also they're not going to have any admin rights on their computer. Sorry, I haven't read this one yet. Oh yeah, and also there's going to be fire extinguishers over there. Next one. There's not going to be no food or drinks. Obviously, it's a lab. Computers get damaged with any kind of water or anything. Also, the machines, turn off the machines. We will have the machines will have to be turned off after the labs, and if they are not, they will be logged off after a certain amount of time, depending on what the admin wants to set it up at. Also, we will have the computer to make noise in case somebody leaves anything plugged in. As soon as they log off, it will start making noise, so that way it's not left there. Oh yeah, so also the scanner is going to scan, the antivirus is going to scan for anything that's plugged into the computer, so that way to make sure that it doesn't go into the computer. So, obviously, there's a lot of computers that are going to be in the lab, so the temperature has to be a little cooler than any other classroom to make sure that to make sure that they don't break or overheat. Obviously, since they're kids, we gotta make sure that they're not touching all over the walls where it's gonna be power or any kind of wiring where they can get electrocuted. So obviously the machines have to be clean and clear from dust, so that way they don't break due to the high dirt inside of them and the fans on them. That's the end. That's you. Sorry, I didn't read the slides until the end, so.